Shalom, my name is Jay Rawlings and I'm reporting the real story for Israel Vision. And tonight I'm reporting to you from a very interesting spot. It's a place called the Gush Etzion Summit or intersection. And this is a very important place because just a few weeks ago, it was near here that 3 Israeli teenagers were kidnapped. And it shocked the whole nation. It was a horrific event that's probably shaped history. But tonight, it's a very different event because in order to diffuse the situation, Arabs and Jews alike are getting together and they're going to sit down together and they're going to speak together and have a time of reconciliation. I hope. We all hope. We're not sure what's going to happen. This is a very, very significant place because for 18 days after these young teenagers were kidnapped, the whole nation was in shock and started to come together in the search for them. We hoped for these 18 days before they were found that they would be alive and we could bring them home to their mothers and fathers. They were found not far from here in a shallow grave near Hebron, and their bodies were riddled with bullets. And with that slaughter of these innocents, it shook the whole nation. And of course, people were angry, sorrowful, mourning, weeping, and for a couple of days we hoped that this would start to calm down. But no, another event happened. Some young men took the law in their hands, Jewish young men took the law in their hands and captured an Arab boy. And sadly, he was tortured and killed in a nearby forest near Jerusalem. And this, I think, just as much shocked the nation that this could happen among us. We hoped that this would never happen, but it happened. And so it shook the nation. And a few days after that, the rockets started falling from Gaza in the wake of terrible riots that happened all over the country in the Arab communities. And so we are sitting here tonight, or standing here tonight, at a place where, after Israel's been hit for the last week by over 1,000 rockets from Gaza, that we hope something can change. Now, there was supposed to be a ceasefire today. The Israelis stopped their firing, but it didn't happen from Hamas in Gaza. They carried on firing and shooting their rockets. Now, this meeting tonight is very significant because the idea behind it is found in the Bible. It's from the book of Psalms. It says in Psalm 133, "How good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together and sit together in unity." In fact, it's a song. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad.
I probably would say that everyone here at this gathering has a slightly different conception of why they're here and what it's about. But from my personal perspective, it's about on this day of the Jewish fast, the 17th of Tammuz, and the day of the Muslim fast, Ramadan. It's about remembering at a time of war our vision for peace. Defense, violence breeds violence. We're going back and forth, and each side might have a conception that it's necessary. And perhaps it is. We're not talking here about politics. But while it's all going on, let's remember that the vision of the Jewish prophets, and actually the vision that we're fasting about, Yud Zayin Bet Tammuz, the 17th of the month of Tammuz, we're ultimately thinking about the rebuilding of the third temple. Now, that could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but one thing it certainly means is the vision of Isaiah for future world peace. So at the time of war, let's think of war, but let's also think of the future of peace and what we can do to make that peace a little bit sooner, a little bit closer.
So we hope and pray that this meeting tonight will bring some kind of reconciliation, a beginning, a third way. It's called the third way. and that is love. And you know the Bible says in Corinthians 13:8, love never fails. And so we ask you to continue to pray for Israel, continue to pray for the peoples here, that men and women of goodwill will get together and find peace in this war-torn region. This is Jay Rawlings reporting to you for The Real Story for Israel Vision. Shalom.
I've lived in this area, like I said, for 34 years. And we drive on the same roads as the Palestinians. We live almost next to each other, but I never met one. I never talked to one. I never looked at one in the eyes.
يعني انا بحكي انه 40 سنه انا بنستخدم نفس الطرق وعايشين جنب بعض وانا عايش هنا قريب جدا بس عمري ما حكيت مع اي فلسطيني ولا بقيت فلسطيني او يعني حكينا مع بعض يعني حطيت عين بعين فلسطيني.
I met someone here from Beit Umar, and we realized Beit Umar is right over there. We've been neighbors for so many years, and he and she, the couple, they told me, they never thought that they would talk to a settler. And I said, I never thought I'd talk to someone from Beit Umar.
التقى مع يعني زوج من بيت أمر شاب ومرته وقالوا له يعني احنا اول مره برضه بنحكي مع مستوطن وعمرنا ما فكرنا انه ممكن نحكي مع مستوطن وهو حكى لهم انه انا ما عمري فكرت اني احكي مع حدا من بيت أمر.
Because that couple that I talked to and their children, they knew that the settlers and the Jews are the people that stole their land and oppressed them every day, and I knew that the people from did I say that right?
بيت أمر, yes.
The people from Beit Omar knew that I was one of those people that stole their land and make them suffer every day. And I knew that the people in Beit Omar, those are the people who threw rocks at my cars and killed my friends. That we knew about each other.
بيحكي انه لانه اللي بيعرفوا هدول الناس اللي في بيت أمر يعني الفلسطينيين بشكل عام انه هم بالنسبه لهم يعني في مخيلتهم احنا الناس اللي نضغطهم يوميا احنا المحتلين واحنا سرقنا اراضيهم واحنا في عقلنا انه هذول الناس اللي بيت أمر هم اللي بيضربوا بحجار علينا وبيحاولوا يقتلونا والى اخره.
And we're suddenly talking to each other, and he realizes that not all the settlers are like that, and I realize that not all the Palestinians are like that.
وبعد ما حكينا مع بعض يعني هو وجد انه مش كل المستوطنين بهاي الطريقه بفكروا ومش كل وانا بالنسبه نفس الشيء مش كل الفلسطينيين بفكروا بنفس الطريقه.
One tiny example of what I learned. This man, his woman told me that when their children see a kippah, they start crying.
شيء واحد تعلمته من هذا الزلمه اللي حكى لي او هاي المره انه لما اولادهم بيشوفوا الكبايه هاي شو معناها في العربي
It represents for them something like a gun.
بالنسبه لهم بلشوا يبكوا الاطفال.
And when they told me they're afraid of me, I was blown away. What do you mean? You're afraid of me? I'm afraid of you.
ولما قالوا لي احنا بنخاف منك انا قلت لهم شو بتقصد يعني وانا كمان بخاف منك.
So I got to know a few Palestinians here, and my prejudices, my hates, my distrust, my suspicion began to be replaced by an understanding of human beings.
طبعا بعد ما التقيت فيهم يعني الصورة النمطية اللي عندي عن الفلسطينيين والصورة التفكير التقليدي عندي بلش يتغير وينحط محله أكثر تفهم.
And I began to see that they have an understanding of reality that's totally different than mine, and it's important that I try and understand their perspective and their narrative and their story and their life.
يعني بيحكي انه من خلال هاي اللقاءات بيصير في تغيير بفكر الشخص تجاه الطرف الاخر من الاخر. بالنسبه للفلسطينيين انه يفهموني انا زي ما انا وانا افهم وجهه نظر كمان الفلسطينيين.
To make a long story very short, while I live and I breathe and I totally am absorbed by my Zionist truth, it's my whole life, I've learned that there's another truth that I have to grapple with and deal with and listen to and bring it to my soul.
يعني هو بيحكي بالإضافة لفكري الحقيقة تبعتي يعني اللي هي الصهيونية في حقيقة ثانية موجودة هان لازم أنا أتعامل معها وأعترف فيها.
The last thing I want to say is this. I don't have a lot of hope for peace. A tiny sliver of hope I have.
آخر شيء بقول أنا فيش عندي أمل كبير يعني في السلام. يعني شوية صغيرة.
And it looks pretty certain that it's not going to be in my lifetime.
وأنا متأكد إنه السلام مش هيكون في حياتي أو في جيبي.
It looks like, judging from what's going on around us, that the Palestinians are not going to get freedom from occupation and freedom from their suffering, and the Jews are not going to get freedom from violence in my lifetime. That's what it looks like.
يعني من الظاهر تبدو أن الموضوع الفلسطينيين مش راح يحصلوا على حريتهم من الاحتلال في جيلي أو في حياتي، وإحنا مش رايحين الإسرائيليين يحصلوا على حياة آمنة يعني بعيدا عن العنف في فترة حياتي.
I don't know if there is any hope, but if there is any hope, if there is, then it begins, I think, in events like this, in places like this, when we come to allow the truth and the lives of the other to enter into our souls.
يعني أنا إذا بده يكون في أمل، الأمل بيكون في أماكن واجتماعات مثل هاي الاجتماعات لما إحنا بنسمح للحقيقة أن تدخل لأرواحنا.
We don't discuss politics here by and large. I'm not involved in politics.
بنناقش كثير في السياسة يعني.
But I'm pretty sure if the politicians will ever succeed in signing a treaty, it'll only be after the two peoples come to trust each other at least a little bit and respect each other just a little bit.
بس أنا متأكد إنه السياسيين يعني حتى يوقعوا اتفاقية سلام راح يتم بعد ما إنه الشعبين يعني شوية يطمئنوا لكل طرف للطرف الثاني ويتعرفوا كل طرف على الطرف الثاني.
So I understand and I've heard the issues, the deep issues that the Palestinians have with normalization. I get it.
بفهم الانتقادات والمشكلة اللي عند الفلسطينيين في موضوع التطبيع.
But it's clear to me that until we allow ourselves to talk to each other and see each other and understand each other, there's not going to be any progress made in peace around here.
بس أنا مقتنع إنه حتى إحنا نتفاهم بعضنا البعض ونحكي مع بعضنا البعض وإلى آخره، يعني أنا مقتنع مش رح يكون في تقدم في السلام وفي التغيير يعني.
So that man is my teacher.
وعلي أستاذي أجاك علي.
Thank you. I have to go now talk to the Jewish group.
You've spoken to Palestinian group, and now you're going to speak to the Israeli group and say basically the same thing.
No, some of the same thing.
You said I'm your teacher, and I'm saying you are my hope. You are a person that I will be proud to partner with and to go to the end of the planet blindly.
No. We'll fall off the edge.
No. It means a lot to everyone who was sitting there. תודה רבה לך.
אנחנו לא עוסקים בפוליטיקה. אנחנו לא מדברים אחד עם השני על מנת לחתום הסכמים. אנחנו פשוט נפגשים כדי להכיר אחד את השני. שורשים בתת האדמה. אני ראיתי שהייתי עיוור. הייתי לגמרי עיוור. אני
We're born into the sand, palms stretched out, infinite hands. For generations, the same call, constantly reminding us what we're here for. We're walking on the edge of holding on and letting go. A thousand ways to turn away from you. A thousand ways you give us to come back again. Ooh. But the truth beyond words is always clear. Oh, hints of it this light don't shine from without, from within ourselves, beyond our mind, subtly answering us all the time. Ooh. But the truth beyond words is always new, breathing life into this world, drawing us closer to it. If there is a song which makes it clear what you want